This week, we're looking at an exciting project over at the Army Research Lab. What they're doing is creating sort of a bionic third arm for our soldiers. Sound a bit wacky and out of the box? Let me walk you through it. It actually makes a whole lot of sense. Why would we want something like that? One, we want to boost lethality. We want to boost the accuracy of our soldiers in conflicts, and we also want to boost the amount of firepower they can bring to fight. Bigger, more powerful weapons, and a third bionic arm might be able to provide that. It could also do things like reduce fatigue, reduce recoil, and reduce the burden on our soldiers, because we all know they're already carrying too much. So this arm, what it will do is sort of shift off the weight from the arm, whether you have an M4, whether you have a saw, it's going to shift that weight off your arm onto your torso, so it's less of a burden to you, and you should be able to carry it longer with more accuracy. You might also be able to bring even bigger, more powerful weapons to the fight. One of the things that our military has been looking at is bringing these little drones. So these little drones that will come along kind of like a motorized donkey, right? Like a machine donkey. And this is going to carry something like an M2 along with the squad, so they can bring the 50 cal bullet and all that power to a fight. Now that's just too heavy for a soldier to carry. We're talking about upwards of 80 pounds. Our soldiers are already carrying as much weight as another person, right? So that's way too heavy for them to carry, but a huge advantage in a firefight, right? Gives them a lot more security. But here's the thing, is it handy or is it hindrance? Now I'm throwing this down because I'm curious to see how they're gonna solve some of the practical issues here, right? What do you do when you have this big sort of third arm and you suddenly have to hit the dirt? What do you do if you have to take an unconventional shot, right? By that I mean not just straightforward shooting, maybe you have to shoot through something a bit tricky. What do you do? Is it going to affect your maneuverability? Because what we don't want to do is add more weight and reduce the maneuverability of our soldiers who are already carrying so much and make it more of a hindrance, right? We've got to maintain the agility and maneuverability for our soldiers, but if we're going to add any ounce of weight, we have to make sure that it's justified. So it's got to provide more advantages. It's got to be justifying the weight that it's adding. Can this third sort of bionic arm, can it shoot? Alas, no, it cannot shoot. But the idea here is that it'll assist and enable even better accuracy for our soldiers by shifting that weight off of their arm onto the torso to make it a lot easier and a lot less of a burden to be carrying those weapons for such long missions and for so many days and so many hours a day. So I'm throwing it down to you. Let me know what you think. Will this be handy or a hindrance to our soldiers? I'm excited to see. As for next steps, they've been testing it. We're still in a prototype phase, and I'm very confident those big brains at Army Research Lab will have solutions to all these challenges I've thrown down. It's all about pioneering to make sure our soldiers have the very best firepower in the next wars to come.